then, you can say, yeah, I understand, I got there, I succeeded, I'm happy, all those kinds of things. Okay? Again, this has nothing to do with technology, and even in technology you have to do that. We just had a meeting of, a short time ago, and I was asking some, difficult questions to some students. What are you trying to convey? What is it that you are trying to do? What do you want other people to do for you? What are you prepared to do for other people? All those are the main thing. So clarity of thought is what we are talking about. Okay? So that's important. I know you're all very smart people, so getting clarity of thought should not be a problem, but I just have to remind you that it is important. Okay? I think that's my last chart. Thank you for your patience. And
I'd like to thank Dr. Bharadvaj for a really interesting and a balanced perspective on technology and what truly we have to think about. We have a time for a couple of quick questions if you would like to raise, please. If anyone would like to ask a question, I think we have cordless mics, or this room has got good acoustics. You can speak from wherever you are. If you have a question, you can ask. Stand up. Maybe just introduce yourself, tell your name, what you're studying, and then ask the question.
Okay, 2 points I want to make. When I say psychology was the most important course, it's not because I got the best grade in that course. Okay? Because the principles that were brought up in that course turned out to be the most important things that one has to consider in your life. That's why it was the most important course. Now, and again, everything that I know about psychology is not from that one class. That was kind of the starting point. Then, I went on to do, to learn more about, psychology in different ways. But when you talk about the connections, these connections happen almost on a continuous basis. It's not like there's a magic point where it happened on Wednesday afternoon at 3:59 p.m. It's not like that. It happens as you learn more, as you mature, this experience I was talking about. When you experience, you are able to understand the relationship between this topic and that topic, this particular way of thinking and that course that I study, this result and that experiment. So some of these things happen on a continual basis, almost at the intuitive level. And that happens over a period of time. It doesn't happen just because you have read the book 5 times or, you slept on it over the weekend or things like that. It happens over a period of time, and it happens based on how much thought, effort you have put into it also. It's not because I read the book, okay, so I'm done now, so can we go home? It's not that. So how one understands. People talk about intuitively you feel certain things, and especially this happens to older people. You look at something, and your professors will tell you something doesn't look right here. Okay, you would have come with the equation, with the experimental data, whatever, and the professor will look at it and say, I don't know, something isn't right. What is not right, he may not be able to say, but he knows that something isn't right. That's intuition. And if you ask anybody when that happened, there is no magic point in time. It happens gradually, and the more you get exposed to that idea, the more experiences you get, Like I say, I've done a variety of things in the industry, not because I was an expert in all those things. You jump into it, you learn, you talk to people, you go and try out a few things. Some things may not work. If it doesn't work, you can give up and say, okay, now what do I do? You say, okay, A didn't work, try B. B doesn't work, try C. Okay? So, through that process, you learn certain things. And you learn certain things by talking to people. By the teaching is the best way of learning things. Ask any other professors, they will tell you. So, you can teach. As a student, you can teach other students. You can discuss. In that discussion, clarity emerges. So it happens in many different ways.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, please.
How much time do you have? No. See, that quote is actually a very highly philosophical quote, which I kind of explained to you in a sense that says, don't depend on somebody else for your success. Okay? You first have to think about exactly what is happiness. If you understand, not at a superficial level, but at a deep level, what happiness is, and what it is and what it isn't, then that quote will become very clear to you. We all think, most of us, again, like I said, I am not the follower of the crowd. Okay? I never have been. I don't think I ever will be. I'm not wired that way. Okay? The common belief is that, other people are all, we need all the other people to make us happy. But at the end of the day, it is not other people who make us happy. We make ourselves happy. That is something that you realize. I'm not saying throw other people out, be unfriendly. I'm not saying any of that. Okay, so please be careful how you interpret that. I also said people are very important. Okay, but it is one thing for people to be important from the point of view of how you behave with people versus how those people affect you. They're two very different things. Okay? I can be helpful to somebody if I'm making them happy, fine. I have contributed to somebody else's temporary happiness at least. But if I am depending on somebody else, suppose I think, I'm going to be happy only if 1,000 people show up and only 700 showed up. Oh, I'm so sad because only 700 came. Right? There were 300 people who didn't show up, ruined my happiness. So I depended on some number of people to show up in order to make me happy. That's where the problem comes. Okay? So there are two opposite sides of the coin. When I say, people are important, it is more about what you do for the people. When I say don't depend on, other people, don't put the key in somebody else's pocket. If the key is sitting in his pocket, the moment I want to be happy, please, can I have the key? Right? He may not be there. He may say, hey, don't bother me, I'm busy. I'm teaching a class, so I have to wait now till his class is over. Then he'll say, I don't have the key in my pocket, I left it in the office. I have to wait for another half an hour. Right? I don't want the key in his pocket, I want it in my pocket. If I want to take it out, take it out, right then and there. So I am no longer dependent on him or anybody else for my happiness. That's the point. And we all have a tendency to blame others for our misfortune, quote unquote misfortune. Okay? I would have been, like this, like that, if only, I had, and I've heard this statement so many times, not only in India, it's everywhere in the world. Okay? And this is not about India versus, US or Europe or whatever. People always try to find an excuse and say, I would have done a PhD just like you. But what can I say? My family situation was this way. Okay? So is it an excuse? Is it a complaint on the family? Is it because he didn't do a PhD, he's sad, he's angry? I don't know what it is. But the message is something else has prevented this person from achieving some goal that he thought was important. I say, if PhD is important for you, go do a PhD. I did my MBA, after working in the field for maybe 25 years. I was the oldest guy in the class. I thought it was fun. There were things I learned there that I would not have learned otherwise. And there is some value to structured learning. Okay, I can pick up a book and read, I'll probably fall asleep. I used to go regularly to the library here and fall asleep. Because it was a nice, comfortable place, and afternoon, after lunch, nice place to doze off. Okay, but I wanted to learn, not just doze off. So if you want to accomplish something, take responsibility and go for it. Don't wait for somebody else. That's the point of that message. Philosophically, it means more.
Okay, let me conclude by Dr. Bharadvaj said a lot about experience and age. So we would like to honor that sentiment that he expressed by asking one of his teachers to hand over a memento to him and to thank him on behalf of all of us for being here. May I request Professor Shantakumar to hand over a memento to Dr. Bharadvaj.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Delivered in a very forceful way. Yeah.
Very nice.
Do you want to take a photo?
You got it? Okay.
So a big round of big hand for Dr. Bharadvaj. Thank you for attending the lecture. In case you have not signed your attendance, please do so at the outset.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't say all the formal things before, but I'll tell you, this has been a great experience. And thank you to IIT Madras for giving me this opportunity. I've been here before, talked about other things, but this was a different kind of talk. And thank you for giving me the opportunity.